All right, we are going to let everybody come in here for a second. We might just not give it a break because I don't really like. I don't really care if people watch it live. I like people to um, watch it afterwards, so we can make it a recording on YouTube. So we can might just get right into this. Bears season through 3 weeks. We're about to enter week 4 for us, and I do have my notes here. Um, so let's just get it started then. Let's just get in with the obvious here. Okay, so the Bears, we know that their defense has been stellar. Um, can their offense get it going? There have been questions surrounding Mitchell Trubisky on how he can develop and how he can get better under Matt Nagy. And Matt Nagy has tried to make him look the best that he can. I think he can improve. I think he's shown some flashes last year. I think he was definitely better last year than he is this year. Um, so, Trubisky, it's gonna be a process. I do understand that this is gonna be a process for Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky will get used to this offense. It'll just have to take a bit more time. I do like him to hit Allen Robinson on deep passes a lot more. I think he's uh, good enough to get those jump balls, and I think he should just trust him to get those balls, because as long as he's just accurate, I bet as long as the ball is close to Allen Robinson, he could probably catch that, and that's the problem. But we are going to get to that later, and I'm going to tell you how unfair it is to compare Mahomes and Watson. I mean Trubisky to Mahomes and Watson right now, even though because Mahomes, he's pretty much the best QB in the NFL right now. Now we shouldn't be talking about it, but let's get into the very first obvious thing. Khalil Mack is a beast. He through 3 weeks he's had 4 sacks. He's had at least one each game. He's got an interception in that game versus the Packers. A, uh, I was hoping that when I was watching that game versus the Packers, I was thinking, oh, well, obviously, every time DeShone Kizer takes a snap, you know he's going to throw an interception. Apparently, Khalil Mack has to be the guy to do that. 3 forced fumbles as well. And all those forced fumbles, one came in each game that Khalil Mack played. So he's at least forced at least one fumble in each game. One versus the Packers, one versus the Seahawks, one versus the Cardinals. I almost misspoke there. And you could just see Khalil Mack is probably playing the best football of his life right now. When you look at what he's doing, I mean, I just listed it to you: 4 sacks, 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles. He's probably playing. He's probably the second best player in football right now. He's probably the best defender in football right now. Um, the best player in football right now, I think, is Patrick Mahomes. But we have to look at this as just a sample. It might not go on for as long as everybody imagines it. I don't think Khalil Mack is going to keep this kind of level up. I think he's going to kind of slow down. He might not. He might have a game where he has no sacks at all and only gets a couple tackles, but that's fine. I mean, he's on pace to get, if I can think here, he's probably on pace to get 16 sacks this season. He's probably going to slow it down. I don't imagine that. Maybe he could, but I wouldn't see it. Um, Forced fumbles, I don't know if he's going to keep that up. He's probably going to slow down a bit, maybe after a couple more weeks. I don't see him keeping it up at this level, but I still think he could be very good. Um, but going on to the rest of this star-studded defense we have here. Okay, so we've got Adrian Amos with 15 tackles this season. I believe that is the best. I'm pretty sure that's the most tackles on this team. So that is very nice. Adrian Amos coming out and getting those 15 tackles. He's been a secret star for this defense. Nobody has really acknowledged how good he could really be. He's a very significant tackler in the secondary. He will probably get you around 90 tackles per season, and more than likely even more. And when we look at that as I believe he is a free safety. That is brilliant for Adrian Amos. He's a brilliant guy. He knows when he recognizes a play very nicely. I have no doubt in his ability as a safety. I believe he is at least a top 5 safety in this league, and I think he is the second best player on this defense. Maybe third if you maybe want to put Akeem Hicks in there. I believe that Adrian Amos is probably still the second best player on this defense behind Khalil Mack, but maybe you could say Akeem Hicks. I wouldn't argue with you that much there. But the best player a couple weeks ago on that defense, though, was Danny Trevathan. Khalil Mack has really opened things up for Danny Trevathan. He's gotten some sacks and some very nice tackles. He was NFC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, excuse me. So that is very nice for Danny Trevathan to get that award. Uh, but I think Khalil Mack is one that's opened things up for him. He had a nice game against the Seahawks. That's why he got that. Against the Cardinals, not so much. He didn't really have that much nice of a game. He allowed that pass from Sam Bradford to David Johnson. He was wide open. He couldn't cover David Johnson. Just let him blow by him. So that's why I wouldn't say that he's the best defensive player right now on our team. I mean, the second best. So, but I believe he'll try to keep it up. He is a pretty good coverage linebacker. I do believe he could be really good as well in the pass rush. If they give him the opportunity, I do think he'll take advantage of it. Roquan Smith, the rookie, the 8th pick in the 2018 NFL draft. Everybody was saying that he was the best defensive player in this draft, even in front of Bradley Chubb. I would think so too. I know I'm a Bears fan, but I truly think that Roquan Smith can be the best rookie. Now, over their careers, I do think Bradley Chubb will be better than Roquan Smith. I do think Bradley Chubb will be on the level of maybe a DeMarcus Lawrence, possibly. That kind of pass rusher. I do think that would be his ceiling, or a Jadeveon Clowney as of late. I wouldn't see him as a Khalil Mack, but you get my point. I think Roquan Smith could be as good as probably as Patrick Willis was. I don't think that might be saying a little bit too much. Throwing that out the window, I don't think he would be as good as Sean Lee or Luke Kuechly or anything like that. But he will probably be a really good coverage linebacker. I think his ceiling, he's going to be a very good tackler. I think he's going to be a sideline to sideline player. He will be able to get tight ends into coverage. I do think he can do a pretty good job on OJ Howard, but this coming week. But I don't know who his ceiling could be that's in the NFL right now. Not Bobby Wagner. I don't know. That's very hard. I don't know. We would have to think that one through. But nonetheless, Roquan Smith has had 14 tackles so far, second on the team. Uh, he's been one. He was one. He was very good against the Seahawks. Vic Fangio said now he did have 7 tackles, but Vic Fangio said that he did see him miss a couple tackles, but and he said that he would. They're going to go over that with him. I do believe that they will fix those things pretty easily with Roquan Smith. He is a determined learner, and he wants to know how to get better. So I'm not too worried about Roquan Smith. I do think he can develop into um, one of the league's best rookies, if not the best, possibly. But we'll have to see. Akeem Hicks, he's had 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. You could compare that to Khalil Mack's. Khalil Mack almost doubles that, but Khalil Mack is also one of the league's the top 5 player in the league, and right now 2 forced. That's pretty good. Over three games, 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles for him. That's really good, and I think he's also had maybe 10 tackles. I'm not sure, but this defense, they know how to. They know when they've got good play recognition. They've got good awareness. They've they've got the physical attributes that you would like to see in a defense. They can run all over the field. They can make a play. That's what I love about this defense. They are willing to make a play, and they are willing to put the game away. They're just willing to do whatever it takes to shut down an offense. That's what I love about this team. So we were done talking about the offense. I mean the defense. Let's get into the offense. I'm just gonna read. I'm not gonna read off. I do remember the starting lineup. The O line. It's been pretty dang good actually. I haven't seen Mr. Trubisky get sacked too much. Probably the worst game could have been against the Seahawks or the Cardinals. So I don't see. I haven't seen Mitchell Trubisky get knocked down too much. So it's very nice. Good blocking by the offensive line. We probably the weakest spot is the tackle Bobby Massey. I do think he is our worst starting lineman. So we might have to do something about that. Uh, it's not too big of a deal. Our offensive line has been known for being good, but injuries, lots of injuries have happened. Kyle Long, Cody Whitehair, they're trying to hang in there. I do believe I don't know if the Bears released Hieronymus Garcia. James Daniels could step out there if he wanted to, but they don't want to start him yet. But I believe James Daniels could be a really good player. Offensive line has been pretty good though overall. It's been solid. I do like what they've been doing with how they've been blocking, for the screens, wide receiver screens. You see a lot of wide receiver screens in this offense for maybe mostly Taylor Gabriel, possibly Tariq Cohen, running back screens, of course, because he is a running back. But I think they've been doing well. I like what Matt Nagy has been doing with this offense. He's trying to make Trubisky a system quarterback, trying to make him a good one, but it hasn't looked very good. But we all just need to calm down. We need to stop panicking. It's okay. We've shown that our defense can take care of it if our offense cannot. And if you have doubt in your passing game, guess what the Bears have? Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. Our offense is not dead. If we have doubt in our passing game, Jordan Howard will run for at least 80 yards. It's okay. Now, I've people are saying, Jordan Howard's only been running for 30 yards this game, 25 yards that game. That's okay. You know why? Because they haven't been really running the ball that much, and I do get that. You know, Jordan Howard has been running the ball. He's only been running the ball. He's only 14 touches, I believe, was in the Seahawks game or the Cardinals game. I'm not too sure. I'd have to check that out. But one game he only had 14 touches. You got to give him at least 20 to 30 if you want your running games to be successful. Uh, he's he's that type of guy. He needs maybe 20 to 30 touches, just like Leonard Fournette does. I he's just he's a power back. He's gonna need the ball a lot. He needs to pound that defense, and that's what he's good at. So I'm not panicking if the passing game does not work. We have a running game. Tarik Cohen has been terrific on the running game. He's he's got 10 yards per rush in that game against the Cardinals. So that was very nice. So I if even if Jordan Howard doesn't do well, you could just slip Tarik Cohen right in there. He'll make a play for you. No doubt about that. But our wide receivers, Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller's out against the Bucks, but I'm sure he will be back. But Anthony Miller, Taylor Gabriel, Josh Bellamy has made some plays last season. Let's see if he can bring it back this season. He will be starting for the Bears over Anthony Miller with that shoulder injury this week against the Bucks. Kevin White, I'm a little bit concerned about because they haven't really given him a chance. They did give him a chance in the preseason, but he only got one touchdown. That's probably like the only highlight he had in the preseason. They didn't really play him that much. So I don't know. But let's go to Mitchell Trubisky. Everybody's overreacting about him, I feel like. He's just a second-year quarterback. He's got some room to grow. I don't think everybody's saying, oh, he's going to be the next Mike Glennon. Stop it. You're just saying that. You're just saying that. It kind of frustrates me how why would you make up that Trubisky's the next Mike Glennon? So I don't get it, but it's not fair to compare him to Mahomes and Watson. Watson hasn't had that much of a season yet. I'd like to see more from Watson this season, but still, it's not fair to compare him to that. Mitchell Trubisky has an all-new offense that he needs to get used to. Mahomes has been studying this offense for a year now. Trubisky has only been studying this offense for about maybe 8 months. Mahomes has been studying it over a year. And that 4 to 6 month difference is a lot because Mahomes has been practicing in that and stuff like that, and Trubisky has only been practicing and doing this in game for only maybe 4 months. So it's a very different way to do that. So Mahomes been in the same offensive scheme. Watson been in the same offensive scheme. Trubisky in a different offensive scheme. New coach, a new way to adapt. That's why I'm not too worried. I do feel like he has room to improve, and but he needs to take the blame for things. He can't just say, "Oh well, you got to take the blame for things, and you got to say how you can get better." His footwork needs to be better in the pocket. I do feel like that affects his throwing, but he will get better. He did connect on a couple good passes in that Arizona Cardinal game, so he did connect with Allen Robinson a lot in that game. So I do feel like he can make some plays. What I'm afraid of is that he can't really make a play that's over 10 yards, but I want him to work on that next offseason is the deep ball. Deep ball accuracy needs to be better. If the deep ball accuracy is better, they could take advantage of it so much better because Allen Robinson on the deep ball has been insane. And if they take advantage of that, their offense could be way better. But still, we got Jordan Howard. We got Tariq Cohen. Our offense is fine and dandy. Let's get on what he can do better. He can work on his footwork. He can work on his deep ball. That's what I've been over. I think that's it about the Bears through 3 weeks in this season. It's so good having you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.